Hello friends, my name is Michelle and this is my farm garden area. We own 5 acres in mid-Missouri and my channel name is Halfway Homestead because we are only halfway able to homestead and only half of this house is interested in homesteading. So what I'm doing today, which I am a month late in doing, is planting my garlic. It is the middle of November. I prefer to plant the middle of October, but with schedules and weather, I was not able to get out here in the middle of October. So you can see here, I have some just little fence pieces I buy at Dollar Tree. I use these for multiple reasons in my garden. Garlic in no way needs a fence. The fence pieces are to keep my darling Daisy and my sweet Sassy from laying in the garden because they both love a freshly planted garden bed to lay in. They also love when I mulch with straw, which is what I'm going to be doing today. And so just for the sake of keeping my garden bed safe, I'm going to put up these little fence pieces ever so often through the bed, and hopefully that will keep my fur babies out. So I have 4 different kinds of garlic that I'm going to plant today. One is Chestnut Red. I think it's a soft neck garlic. I've never planted that one before, but my local nursery had seed garlic for Chestnut Red, so I picked some up. I'm also going to plant Music, which I plant every year. It's a hard neck, and it grows really, really well here in mid-Missouri. The other one is, let me think, it's some of my garlic that I planted last year. I had a pretty terrible garlic year last year. I planted, I think, I'd have to go back and look. My knees are killing me. I planted, I think, over 70 garlic cloves, and I was only able to harvest 18. And so most of them rotted, and that was very sad. They just turned to mush in the ground. So I did save a couple heads to plant, and I did even notice as I was preparing the garlic for planting, some of those that I saved are not any good. So what I do have left in the house and the little bitty cloves that I've gotten out of the Chestnut Red and the Music that I bought, those are going to just be processed for the kitchen. I also have another one that I have no idea what kind it is. I picked it up at our local Mennonite store. They had it for sale in the produce aisle. They were nice big heads of garlic, and I thought, why not? I'll pick a couple up and plant them and see what happens. I believe, I think the ones that I saved for seed are also Music, but I can't remember for sure. So I do have a cattle panel trellis right here, and I have placed my first pieces of fencing just about a foot back from that, just because I will be able to plant on my trellis before the garlic is ready to be harvested. And so I want to give myself some space right there. And whatever I plant, I don't want it to crowd the garlic. So what I did to prepare for today is I went through and broke up all my heads of garlic into cloves. I can show you. See, I went ahead and just broke them up into cloves. And I took my potato fork and loosened the soil in this bed. This bed hasn't had anything in it since probably late August, and it was pretty compacted. Now the soil is pretty moist. We had a rain, I don't know, maybe a week ago. I'm really surprised at how moist it is, but I'm going to use that to my advantage. It's supposed to be in the 70s today, and I want to get this planted, and then we're supposed to get rain in a couple days. So hopefully the moisture in the soil will hold it over until the rain, because we've already unhooked all of our hoses. We've had a couple frosty nights, and our hoses would have froze and broke. So we've already undone all of that. What else can I tell you? I have no idea how many cloves I've got today. I just went through and broke up what I did have. When you're planting garlic, you want to leave as much of the paper on as possible and the little root end. So any of them that were exposed to the actual like skin of the garlic or the flesh of the garlic, I kept those aside and I will just process those in the kitchen. Or if I accidentally tore off the root end, I kept those aside as well. So what we're going to do is go about 4 inches deep. So I have dug a little bit of a trench here. I'm going to go ahead and make it a little deeper. Let's move my garlic over. And I forgot to bring out my garden markers. So after I get all this planted and mulched, I'll have to go get those because I want to keep track of what I'm planting and where, just so that, you know, maybe I find that Chestnut Red works really well in my area and I might want to do that one again. I already know the music works well. I'm not even trying elephant garlic this year because of how poorly it did last year. Okay. All right. So I've got my little trench. I'm going to put it little root side down. Okay. Just like that, point side up. And I'm going to go about, I don't know, that's probably like my fist width apart because I want them to have plenty of space to develop their head of garlic. Some of these are so big. Look at that. And then some are tiny, tiny. So that's okay. If all goes well, they will all make delicious garlics. Okay, that one, there's a rock or something right there. There we go. This one is gigantic. It'd be fabulous. All right, I think I can get one more over there. I'm reaching across a 4x8 bed. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover these up, dig myself another little trench about same distance apart. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's 4 inches, 4 or 5 inches. And I'll probably put another couple pieces of fence in. If I run out of room in this garden bed, I have another one here behind me that I can use. I will have to clean out the vegetation that has started growing in there, little ground cover weeds, and do my tater fork to loosen the soil and just keep going the way I am. The other two 4x8 beds, I tried to plant a fall garden and it did not go well. The grasshoppers and the roly-polies ate everything I planted, or at least I thought they did. So I just gave up on it. And there's a couple broccoli plants and a whole lot of carrots. Or it might be dill, because carrots and dill look a lot alike when they come up. But I'm going to try to leave those two beds alone and see if anything happens in there, if we can get anything out of that. And everything else in the garden is done. It has either froze, or the grasshoppers got it, or it died. And so I'm going to get this garlic planted, and then I'll be pretty much done until spring. I miss the garden. It feels good to have my hands in the soil. So I am a first grade teacher at our local elementary. And once the school year starts, I cannot keep up with the garden. I've tried multiple years to put in a fall garden, and it just does not work for me. And so I'm hopeful that, well, I'm not hopeful, I plan when I retire from teaching, I will go gangbusters with a fall garden. I'm not looking forward to being done teaching, but I'm looking forward to some of the things that I'll be able to do once I retire, like have a fall garden. And yeah, so maybe by then I'll have a little greenhouse, and I can, or not greenhouse, but a high tunnel, and maybe I can grow year round. That would be awesome. Although I don't know if that's possible here in my climate. It gets pretty darn cold in the wintertime, and we get some pretty hard freezes. Okay, so I will bring you back when I am finished with planting all of these heads of garlic, or all of these cloves, and I'll show you how much we got done. Okay, and there you have it. I have started the 2026 garden. I lost track of counting, but I believe there is roughly 130 cloves planted. Daisy, quit fussing. I did continue with my little pieces of fence, and I have used about a half a bale of straw in covering this bed. Now, if you remember, I did not put anything within a foot of the trellis. I did go ahead and mulch it with straw just to help with weeds and moisture retention. I do not have anything in the last probably 10 inches of the bed just because I ran out of cloves, and I went ahead and mulched it for the same reasons. So yay, 2026 garlic is planted. Oh my gosh, I pray that it goes well, because I love sharing what I grow in the garden. And I have had 2 people ask me about selling my garlic. I haven't had enough to sell. So maybe that is something that will come from this raised bed. I don't know. We'll see. All right, next I am going to harvest snail vine seed pods. I love snail vine. It is a beautiful flower. My biggest drawback on the snail vine is that it doesn't flower until like beginning October. And so it takes the entire summer to grow out on the trellis, only to bloom a very short time before it freezes. But this year I did get some pods. They are not in any way dried. In fact, I'm sure they froze, so I'm not even sure they're any good. This one has been broke open. Let's see if there's anything inside of it. I don't know if I did that. I don't remember doing that. Maybe a critter did that. It looks like it's just been like ripped off. Okay, let's see. Snail vine seeds are expensive. And so I was really hoping, well, there's a couple little seeds in there, but I don't know if they're viable. They're pretty soft. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick all the pods that are here, and just put them in my basket here. And then I'm going to take them inside, lay them out to dry, and we'll see what happens. I did buy extra seeds this last season, just in case this didn't work out. And also because I buy these seeds from Baker Creek, rareseeds.com, and they sell out fast. So last year when I bought them, I bought an extra packet because the year before I couldn't get seeds at all. So I'm going to get all these off of here, or at least the ones I can reach. And we will try drying them out and see how it goes. Oh, there's one more up there, but there we got it. Okay. Woo, looking up like that makes me dizzy. Okay, next we are going to harvest the rest of the herbs that are on the front porch. I'm amazed they've lasted this long because, like I said, we've already had a couple frosts, and we've got another frost coming later this week. So let's go to the porch and get some herbs. Okay, it looks like all we have left up here is I have rosemary here in the green stalk and lots of petunias that are almost finished. The thyme, it's still going, but there's really not enough there to mess with, and I have preserved a lot of thyme this year. The calendula's done. The chamomile never really got started. The chives are looking pretty pitiful. And I have tried drying chives before, and I don't know, I didn't really care for it. And I feel like I don't use them that often, so I'm not going to mess with the chives. But the rosemary, I love rosemary and thyme. Those are my two favorite herbs to cook with. All right, so I've got me just a big old handful of rosemary. I'm going to stick it in one of these bags just so it doesn't blow away because it is so windy out here. Okay, and the next on the list is to do my chicken chores, and that will come later today. All right, time to take care of the chickens. Scoot, scoot. Okay, chickens get all of our kitchen scraps. Well, most of them. They don't like some things. There we go. They get a scoop of corn each evening. And fresh water each evening. This one's got a bunch of leaves in it. Okay, there we go. They have a second water bowl over here. I'll bring in another bucket of water before I'm finished. But, can you see them? Here we go. I currently have 15 birds, 14 hens, and 1 rooster. Rooster's name is Theodore. He's gorgeous. I have, let's see, 10 cinnamon queens, which this is my first time having cinnamon queens. I was told they are prolific egg layers, and boy howdy are they. They are great egg layers. The other 4 are olive eggers or Easter eggers, and they, out of the 4 of them, I only get maybe 2 colored. They lay the bluish green eggs, maybe 2 a day. They are definitely not prolific egg layers, but that's okay. They're beautiful, and I love having that variety of color in my egg selection. You can see Sassy's close by. And 4 of the cinnamon queens are getting ready to move to my mother's house. So that'll be probably within the next couple weeks. What do you think, Miss Sassy? Look. Hello, hello, hello. You saw me sitting down and took the opportunity to get in my lap, didn't you? I love watching the chickens. I don't love wintering chickens just because of their water freezes over, and if it's snowy, they don't like to come out of their house. I don't want to come out of the house when it's cold and snowy, but I love having chickens. In the wintertime, when it does get frosty and the water freezes every night, when I come out to close them up at night, I just empty their water bowls and give them fresh water the next morning. That way I'm not having to break ice. And I don't keep water on the inside of their house unless we are having a serious cold spell and lots of ice and snow. And then I will move a water bowl inside. But I do the same thing. I dump it at night and then give them fresh in the morning. Their feed right now is on the inside, and I'll take you in just a second. I had it out here, but we were getting lots of rain, and once it gets wet and mushy, they won't eat it. So I'm hoping, Scott has a few ideas about how to make me a covered chicken feeder to where I could like dump the entire 50-pound bag in, and that would be amazing. So I'm hoping that maybe we can do that pretty soon. I'd like for part of their run to be covered, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Back in the back there, you can see way back there, that is my meat bird coop. And it's mobile, so we can, when I have birds in there, I just pull it around the yard and have to move it every day or they kill the grass. But this spring I had, oh my gosh, I think I started out with 19 birds in there and had 21 died, and then moved for the egg layers in here. So I think we ended up butchering 15 birds, 14, because Theodore came in here too. He was in that bunch. All right, sassy girl, are you going to let me get up? Or are you just too busy snuggling? You see Sassy? She is not always a snuggle bug, but when she is in the mood, I take advantage. All right, I'm going to get up and we will go inside. Now, before we go in, please know, my coop is not Pinterest worthy. It is a working coop. It is filthy dirty. It's dark, although I do have solar lights in here. And lots of cobwebs. Excuse me. So I'm going to turn the camera so I can show you the inside and we'll get the eggs. Okay, so here we go. This was a garage that had storm damage on another person's property, and they gave us the building. All we had to do is go take it down. And so we took it down. I say we loosely. It was really Scott and Jeremy and Jim, our son-in-law. And Scott rebuilt it and put new tin on the outside. I had always wanted a divided building. So on this side is just for storage and for Daisy and Sassy. Sassy has access into this building through this little gap right there. And then this little box right here, that is Sassy's house. Let me show you Sassy's house. So if we come outside, she has a little doggy door that goes just into that box. And so when it is super, super cold, snowy and icy outside, we open up this door here. There's a little door right here. And then she can come into this part of the building, and we keep straw on the floor, and then she has an even warmer spot to sleep and to stay. This part of the building is the coop. And so it's completely enclosed with chicken wire and tin. These little doors down here are so that I can get the eggs. But if you look right in there, somebody keeps laying one on the ground. So I've been just going inside to get the eggs. And I'll show you inside the boxes. All right, we have a lot this morning. All right, I'm going to turn the camera and we'll count eggs. Okay. All right, there's, whoop, I turned it. There's their little chickie door, and they can go outside And now I'll get the eggs. Okay, let's see. I've got one in the basket that was on the ground. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So all 14 hens laid today. That's awesome. And 2 green ones. So that means that 2 of the olive eggers or Easter eggers are not laying green eggs. I thought they all did. That would make sense of why I'm getting only 2 a day. Okay. Oh, I thought they all laid green eggs. Oh, I need to put feed in. Okay. I keep my feed. Oh, I'm going to set you down and raise you up. Okay, I keep my feed in Rubbermaid totes. This one is corn, so I'll take a scoop of corn outside to them. This one is they're laying pellets, so they just get 1 big scoop. Sometimes I give them 2, but they still have a little bit of feed in there, and they got all those kitchen scraps. So tonight they just get 1. And we'll give them 1 scoop of corn. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, there we go. And after dark, well, I do need to bring down another bucket of water. After dark, I come down and I close up their door. Scott has rigged it onto a pulley system, so I can maneuver the door from outside of the fence. So it goes just like that, like a drawbridge, or I think it looks like a guillotine. Okay, that way in the mornings when I am ready for school, I don't have to walk in there and get chicken poo on my school shoes. And because I do most of my chores at night, except in the deep, deep winter, there's no need for me to go in there in the mornings. All right, okay. I'm gonna get them another bucket of water, and it's time for me to go start supper. So I hope you guys have a great day, and let's see. Today we did some gardening and some chickens, so we'll say happy gardening. Bye, friends.